Over 90% of deaf and hard of hearing children are born into hearing families. And so that statistic alone is shocking for a lot of people to hear. But what that means is that over 90% of the children are coming home with a family that sign language is not their primary language. People often ask me how it was that I got my start in sign language and where that interest came from. I was a teenager, 12, 13, and babysat for 3 little girls that lived across the street from me. And they were very close together in age, like 1, 2, and 3. The mother picked up pretty quickly that the middle child, the one that was 2 at the time when I started with her, wasn't responding and wasn't picking up the language that her sisters were. So after they did some testing, they found out that she was in fact severe to profoundly deaf. And me as a 12-year-old boy didn't really know how to help other than I wanted to. And so one thing that I could do was go to my local library and look for a sign language book. And I did that and learned the whole book really quickly and took it back and tried to work with the little girl and work with the mom and get him to understand. And it was just a really neat experience for me to see that little girl for the first time in her life pick up on things and realize that there was a word for things and a way for her to ask for things and a way to communicate. And so I really quickly learned that was something that I wanted to try to do with my life at a pretty young age. The beauty of Signing Savvy to me is that it started out as this one vision, but with everyone else who's kind of jumped on board with it, we've turned it into something that was beyond what any of us ever thought it could be. It's so much more than just a book that you open and look at a sign and go, well, I think it's like this. You can actually click on that picture and you can see it come to life. It's so much more comprehensive and so much more inclusive than what a book would be. I wanted something that could be a communication tool between school and home. A teacher can take the printing feature option and they can, after creating a word list of, let's say they're talking about vegetables in the classroom that week, they can create word lists of all the different vegetables and actually print those signs off onto cards that are sent home with the student. The children can sit down at the computer actually and be able to go through quizzes and flashcards and things like that that they can do that study vegetables and then be able to go home and also access that same teacher's word list. We know that language can't begin and end in the classroom. It has to continue on with home too. And it's the parent's responsibility to be able to do that in the home setting. It's the teacher's responsibility to do that at school. And it's everyone's responsibility to make that all mesh together and able to give our children the best opportunities possible. I knew that there were other people out there that used sign language that weren't necessarily deaf and hard of hearing, but I didn't realize to what magnitude it was. And I didn't realize the outpouring of thank yous that we would get from people out there who stumbled upon our site for some reason or another. That are so thankful because we've given them a voice. The people who have children with Down syndrome, the people who have children with cognitive impairments, the adults that, I got a really touching letter from a young man who was in Afghanistan and lost his hearing from an accident there and said, I didn't have a voice and you gave me back a voice. We have the opportunity to make changes, to give children, adults, anybody who wants to, a voice, a way to communicate that they may not have done before. And it's exciting, and that's my passion. That's what I wanted to do. It's so much more and so much deeper than I even thought was possible, but it's extremely rewarding.